Episode 24 of the Clock Enders podcast, joined by Life of the Party, Edson, and myself, Reginald Dino. Just finished watching Brighton versus Arsenal. We always knew it was going to be a good game. But I'm sure Edson's the same as me, I didn't think that Arsenal wouldn't show up, and that's exactly what they did today. 3-0 loss at home to Brighton, virtually ending the title chase for Arsenal for the season with 2 games left. Congratulations, Man City.
Yep. Congratulations, Man City. And, obviously once we have some time to, step back from the season and catch some perspective, there's more than enough encouraging signs, but missed opportunities, bottle job, everything that everyone predicted and everyone said turned out to be true, and that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. And kind of the way that we've capitulated over this last month here. Wow, it's mind blowing. It looks like a different team. Doesn't look like the team that we watched certainly before World Cup break. And then once we strengthened, after the transfer window or during the transfer window, again, we found another real high form and stuck there for a minute. But I feel like lack of rotation, and kind of tactics being exposed and not enough wrinkles and not enough new things, or maybe some of the wrong new things being thrown into the mix. Bad selection, Rob Holding, Kivior definitely looks like he's been capable over these last few games, and it just makes you wonder what if, as we said last week, if Holding maybe only got a game in there, and and we had switched over to Kivior, or even 2 games, you know what I mean? If we scrape any of those points during that period where Holding is playing, 2 points in this game, 2 points in that game when we had draws, we're looking at the season a lot different right now,
Definitely.
And yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, there's no there's no bow tie to put on this right now. It's and especially at home to lose like that.
That's right.
All of our fire went out of the game in the 10th minute, whenever Martinelli, went off. That was the end of the fire. Trossard played well, in a sense, like he was pressing, he was doing the things. I mean, imagine his roller coaster of emotions, not being selected against his old team, then to come on as an injury sub, and has a couple chances, the shot off the crossbar, finally has a chance to play with Jesus. It for a while there, it looked like things were going well, and then the wheels came off.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was at fault for the last goal too. But I mean, the selection should have been for him to start anyway. So I'm pretty sure Arteta got that part wrong. And listen, guys, and I know you'll agree with me and Tech and even Nick. You will all agree this was a great season. We'll all agree it was a great season. At the beginning of the year, if you said second place, 3 points behind Man City, we all would have taken that. No ifs, ands, or buts. I would have taken that while I was sleeping. Like, you wouldn't even have to wake me up, and I'll take that.
We already said it. We said it at the start of the season. We'd much rather not win a trophy and be in contention somewhere at the top of Premier League.
That's right.
And that's what we got this year. But our squad is young, and our squad, relative to Man City's, is small.
Well, it's 100% small, and that's something I was thinking about just before the show as well. It's like when there's 2 things I want to mention, actually, even because you mentioned it just before World Cup, we were flying, and then World Cup hits, and then we're starting to struggle. But the players that we had that go to World Cups, how many captains of national teams are on the Arsenal squad? There's 4 or 5 captains of their national squad playing for Arsenal. So they're in every single game in the World Cup. They're in every single game in qualifying. And then I'm not even talking about Saka playing all 90 minutes in two back-to-back games for England for qualifying as well. And if you go on the other side and look at Man City, how many captains of national teams are on Man City? There's none.
Yeah.
De Bruyne plays. Haaland didn't make it. Walker doesn't play. Bernardo Silva doesn't play.
Grealish barely plays.
But that affords them the luxury of rest pretty much for a month. I know they have to train, but you'd be training anyway if you were at the club team, and not having those games every 3-4 days, whatever it is. Arsenal, I mean, Partey's the captain. Jorginho was once a captain, and well, they didn't make the World Cup.
Right. Yeah.
Xhaka's a captain.
Yes.
Odegaard's a captain. They didn't make the World Cup again, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So, I mean, they're playing all the minutes. They're tired, and this is the time of the season where you have to be smart and manage your players. We don't have the luxury of sitting at Erling Haaland and playing Alvarez. We don't have the luxury of sitting at Kevin De Bruyne and bringing on Gundogan or Mahrez or Grealish or Foden or whoever you want to bring on in place of another star player. We don't have world-class players 2 in a row at each position. But so if you want to play all those guys all those minutes at the end of the season, they're gonna burn out. We see it with Saka. What's going on with Saka? Saka's tired. Let's be real.
No, he's been playing tired. Yes,
of course he's tired. So I mean, I don't know, man. The squad has to get bigger. Arteta knows this. It's gonna happen. We have the core now. Now we have to get guys that are at least at the same level as the core, so we can start switching and swapping. And again, to be 3 points, 5 points off the greatest team the EPL's ever seen, I'm good with it. It sucks the way it happened because we were up on them, but for all the reasons that I've just mentioned is the reason why we're behind them now.
See, the crazy thing is now that we're looking at it too, like our bench players, even the injured guys, etc. Like our progress has been so accelerated that the quality that we have outside of our best 11, we had a different timeline for how this was going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like a Tomiyasu or a Ben White at right back, like that seemed like it was going to be fine for another season. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Same thing with a Tierney. Oh, that seemed like good enough backup for another season. Then we have a little tactics change and the whole left back midfield wrinkle, and all of a sudden he can't play in our preferred system. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe we thought that would come a year later. You know what I mean? Maybe in the thinking, replacing them or upgrading is a year down the line. Now we're gonna have to turn the squad over again. You know what I mean? After having already turned the squad over and being convinced that we have the quality, it's been proven out now that we're not quite there still. And I understand that it's a young squad, so you're going to have that natural maturation. But now next year we're looking at Champions League, which is another whole load of games. You know what I'm saying? And not a situation where you can rotate your squad. It's not Europa. So like
those Champions League games are going to be high level games. So it's not like we're playing whoever, Sheriff and we can start Vieira, we can start Matt Turner, we can start whoever. I mean, you're going to be facing Bayern Munich. Might be in a group with them.
Exactly. So, there's going to have to be more turnover in the squad than we probably thought in January, is what I'm saying right now. So it's going to be a busy summer, and we need a lot of fixes. We need and a title race like this, 40 games, 38 games. It's going to be proven out. You know what I mean? And we're seeing it now here at the end. And I mean, the other thing is, the manager's tactics over this last month have really, I think, kind of like come into focus as well. It seems like as soon as Pep started to do Pep found us out with the long ball thing, it seems like a tactic that we've just now all of a sudden adapted. When have you seen Aaron Ramsdale kick so many long balls? You know what I mean? What happened to playing out from the back like for real? Now we're doing a mix of it. Long balls over the top, which I don't necessarily mind to try and find Saka and Martinelli on the run, and there, to a certain degree, it's been successful over the last few weeks. It's created some chances, certainly, but we're not playing our ball, and when it goes awry, we're back under pressure, and our press has now looked like it's been found out as well. Brighton playing through our press and around our press like that. I mean, hey, kudos to Brighton. Let's give it up for them also. They looked unbelievable. Okay, they looked unbelievable. And after their last game, where they kind of got shelled, the manager promised that we would see the real Brighton today, and he walked into the Emirates and he cashed that check. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
They were on the money today, tactics wise and everything. I mean, for like that defense and that midfield, the way that they played around us and got the attack going the other way, unbelievable. And then their youth up front, just Ben White got spit roasted. Okay, Mitoma had him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was shocking. And yeah, that's the season.
I mean, even if Caicedo was playing right back, if he was in the midfield, in the middle of the midfield too, it probably would have been worse.
And Caicedo was excellent today. I mean, there was a lot of excellent on Brighton's side. But if that's what 70 million looks like, I'll take 2 slices of that, please.
You'd rather have him than Declan Rice, I'm assuming.
Oh, I'd take him over Declan Rice. Yeah,
me too. I think that's the better buy, but we'll see what I think. I think Declan Rice comes from an Arsenal household, so I'm pretty sure he wants to come to Arsenal, but I don't think that's the right move. But
I don't think that we're going to pay what they want for him, and someone else is going to.
That's fine. Someone else can. That's fine. For me, he doesn't affect the game to the point where it's $100 million worth of
Although I will say this last part of the season here, he's really turned it on, and he has started playing excellent football. I feel like now he's had that kind of effect on games recently. Okay. And kind of single-handedly helped to keep these guys up. You know what I mean?
I'm still not paying $100 million for him.
No, not worth that. I mean, for whatever they're talking, you can get a Caicedo and an Onana. Something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. So no, and still for me, I'm still taking Onana first. I'll be honest with you. I'm still.
Well, he hasn't ever since Dyche took over. He hasn't really played that much, right? So I don't know if that's if they get relegated. I think that's a move that he might want to make.
Yeah, give him here. We'll take that, no problem.
30-40 million, no problem. Easy. Yeah. So yesterday we watched Everton. I don't know, man. And within 10 minutes that game was over. They lost 3-0. Resting players, able to rest players for an upcoming Champions League game and still have the quality. Like, I don't think Rodri played yesterday. I don't think.
Did Phillips get a game?
I don't know. No, it was who was in the midfield? It was Gundogan. I didn't even see De Bruyne play. I didn't even see if De Bruyne was playing. I don't think he played yesterday.
De Bruyne was on the bench.
Yeah, so I mean, you're in a title run and you have that ability to do that and then still win 3-0 and then go play. You're a little bit ahead of what Arsenal is, but I'm fine with that because if we're 4 or 5 years down the road and we're still where we are right now, that's an issue.
But
we're like you said, we're brand new to this. We're 4 years into an 8-10 year project right now, and we're way ahead of where we should be. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, we just need the signings this summer to help us kind of shore up the home front and shore up our base and just I don't know, man. It's so disappointing, but also so encouraging. Like. These last 2 seasons have just they've had me torn, but they've had us entertained, and it's so much better than what we've been dealing with for the past 15 years.
I hope Amazon Prime just does Arsenal all or nothings until they actually win the Premier League, and then they can go to another team after that because it's probably the most watched one that they've ever had. So, okay, so. With all that being said, let's get into our player ratings against Brighton today. I'm going to tell you right now, the man of the match for me is Mitoma. But if I have to give one to Arsenal, we'll go through the ratings actually, and I'll tell you. But it's going to be tough because I don't know who on this squad today gets man of the match. But it was not a performance I was expecting. That's for sure. So we'll start off.
And you know, I mean, to kind of, I mean, yeah, let's do the player ratings because we'll get into the game details in the player ratings. Anyways.
Yeah. So we'll start off like we always do. We'll start off in net. Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, for me, it's a 4 performance. The third goal was shocking to me. What he did with that shot, I thought he could have caught it. He decides to parry it out, but you're parrying it out right to a guy that's coming in on you. It's shocking to me what he did.
Let's not forget the pass out to Trossard in the midfield.
That's
you
right.
know, he has to kind of reach to just kind of get a little piece of it to try and nudge it by the midfielder, whoever it was, McAllister or whoever, or Buenote. I'm not sure who picked it off, but it's a bad pass. It's not on the. That's a pass you have to put on the money on his foot, and it's wide of him. He has to stretch for it. You know, I understand that he's taking the blame, and you can see he gave the old fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Because he's taking it on himself, and it's against his own team. But Ramsdale did him no favors there, and you're right. The parry was poor,
garbage. So he gets a 4 from me.
Yeah. The distribution not good, and I mean I guess that's partially on on the tactics and partially on the players who are on the end of it. Some of them got theirs, just wasn't much hold up play. I mean, you know, those are pretty physical center backs too, and you know we lost the war up there. But Ramsdale, I mean, yeah, 4 sounds good. Sure, I was saying 5, but.
There's a lot of 5s on my list, but there's nobody. I don't know who stands out here, but we'll keep going. And we talked about this player, our right back, who got it's almost child abuse if you ask me what Mitoma was doing to him on that side. But Ben White.
Oh my goodness, Ben White walks out of today with probably I don't know what I mean. What's a 1? You know what I mean? Like what kind of a performance is a 1? You know what I'm saying? Like. I don't know. That's worse than what Ramsdale did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, So Ben White today, I mean, and again, you know, maybe he didn't play so bad. He was up against the buzzsaw. Mitoma is, you know, outside, I think I saw him play against Wan-Bissaka, who shut him down pretty good. Outside of that, he's tortured everybody. And he gave Ben White the business today. I don't know, 2.
I'm going to give him a 4, only based on the and again, I'm still saying this. I've been saying it all season. He's not a right back. You're out on an island 1-on-1. There's no one coming over to help you. I mean, you're going up against an informed winger. I'm going to give him a 4 just because he's not a right back.
I can't even give you that because even going forward, we got nothing. You know what I mean? The couple times we got forward, bad crosses. We can't cut him a break now.
But you can't get forward with a guy like that, a Mitoma on the other side. You can't always get forward because if you lose the ball, you're never catching it.
Yep, that's okay. He didn't pick his spots well. You know, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, he's probably a little uncomfortable with a new partner over there, but that's no excuse. He was on an island a few times. They're just picking on him. They're just putting the ball over Ben White's head every single time.
That's right.
So, all right, he might not be a right back, but he's a center back, and we need better than that. I would expect a center back to do better than that defensively. Mitoma roasted him. So.
Yeah. For sure.
So whatever you want to call it, you call it that. I'm sticking with my 2.
Okay, no problem. Jakub Kiwior.
All right, Kiwior. I don't know. 5.
That's what I gave him. I gave him a 5.
Didn't do too much wrong. It was just part of a really bad setup today. You know, and again, at home, wow. You know, I mean. First of all, okay, so this is what I wanted to get to. This is one of the things I want to touch on. How in the hell is that goal allowed to stand? It's not
the first goal. The first goal,
it's not like he wasn't central to it. Okay,
bad.
he's central to it. It didn't
bad.
even warrant a look. Are you kidding me?
It's bad.
A
Because
stomp on the heel. At
if he
first,
doesn't,
I'm like, who the hell is that defender? The first time you see it, he's like, he just crumbles to the ground. I'm like, what could have happened to him? And he gets stomped all the way down the Achilles and then to the heel, right? Essentially.
oh no,
Like,
that's what happened.
isn't that what VAR is for?
It was shocking. Like for him to be when the goal went in and he was that wide open, I was just looking around. What's going on? Like where are defenders? And then you were watching the same commentary I had from that goof Gary Neville. That's a side conversation we can have. If I don't know why we're taking Gary Neville as a pundit. It's crazy. He knows how to do everything, and then, like you said in the beginning, he went to Valencia and got his ass handed to him.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
I don't know why we think this guy knows anything about football. He played, okay, great, but that doesn't mean you can open your mouth and talk about it. Him and Rio Ferdinand.
He's an athlete, not an intellect.
That's
okay.
Perfect. He was saying, oh, he bent over to tie his shoe. And I looked at the replay and I'm looking at him like, yeah, he's down there. His shoe is off. But now when you rewind it a little bit more, yeah, he gets stomped on. That's a foul.
I have no idea how that was able to stand. That to me is atrocious. But if we really want to talk about VAR and what's happened this season, we'd have the points that we need right now. Okay.
Oh, definitely. That's been happening for seasons. Edson, that's been happening for seasons. We would have been in Champions League last year if we got points for all the VAR points we were screwed out of. Yep. And it's happening again this year. But
same old treatment.
Whatever. But you still have to score. Okay. If we lose this game 3-2, then that's different. That's a different conversation. But you didn't score either. So it's not just taking the goal away. You still have to score. And we didn't look like a threat up top at all. But we'll get to those ratings for the forwards when we get to them. But I give a 5 to QBR as well. Right now he's in the lead with 10. So that should tell you obviously these ratings are going to go. His partner Gabriel,
5. We just the matching center backs. That's it. I mean, these player ratings really aren't going to take too long. I'm
They're not, because there's nobody that did anything worth talking about. Kieran Tierney,
5.
I gave him a 6. Really didn't do anything wrong.
Couldn't tell him apart out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too. But the reason why I'm giving him a 6, maybe 1 point more than he should get, is that you haven't played in donkey's years and you just get thrown into a must-win game against a very good team. You didn't do that poorly. So I gave him a 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a captain and he's a big time player, and he got his chance against the Brighton, and these are Brighton's throwing Utes at us. Okay, Utes. All right, Enciso, Ferguson, Mitoma. You know what I mean? Like
Caicedo, Estupiñán. Those guys aren't old either. Those guys are like 21, 22.
This is what I'm saying. So you expect some of our slightly older. I mean, Tierney's 25. Our savvy guys, again, our captains, guys like that to step up. And it just wasn't there. So, I mean, 6 and a 5. I mean, we're splitting hairs. That's fine.
Yeah. I also forgot Zinchenko's a captain as well. Forgot that one.
That's right.
Granit Xhaka pulled. I've never seen him subbed, but he was subbed today.
And such a weird day to sub him. I mean, this will go to the manager's rating. I mean, I'll give Xhaka a 5 same way, but that sub seems strange to me. I mean, at least he's out there doing some of the bits, battling in midfield. I don't know. I think he created a chance, but he wasn't great. But I don't know. The subs just to me kind of were all over the place, and they didn't make a lot of sense. So
the substitutions were insane. And we'll talk about that in the manager's rating. I have no idea. I have no clue why he made some of the changes he did. But
yeah,
especially at the time that we made the subs, and in the situation that you're in, I don't know how you take off Odegaard. I don't know how you take off Jesus. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Those two are atrocious. You're chasing the game. You know, Odegaard's had some chances. Who else is going to create? I mean, obviously Trossard's out there, but like, why would you want to just go with your one creator? Okay, all right, Smith Rowe. So what has Smith Rowe done all season?
Done nothing. This is what I'm saying. This is what I put in the chat. Like, why now would you play this guy now in a game where you have to score?
Right. And then he goes like all hail end, like he's trying to like write some kind of a movie script or something like that. You know, that's what's gonna save us, hail end. You know, I think the timing is bad for that. I would have loved to have seen it in the game that we're up. You know what I mean? Give me the full on hail end attack. He had a chance to do that actually and brought on Vieira instead of Smith Rowe a few games back, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, that would have been the time. Not now. You know, and taking off Jesus in the preseason, and I think maybe one other time this season, we've seen Jesus and Nketiah out there together, and they really like seem to make some magic and work well, and they have a nice little rapport on the pitch. What happened to that? I mean, we're chasing a goal. Why not two strikers?
Well, at that point of the game, why not everybody you have that's an attacking player? Go three at the back, take off Tierney, take one guy out of the midfield if you want, either Jorginho or Xhaka, and put Nelson on, put Trossard, leave Jesus, Saka, bring the attack.
You're taking 80 million off the field. You're taking 80 million off the field, replacing it with what?
Oh man, it's just
that's rough, man.
For me, it's coached like we've won the league, or we're 30 points out of first. That's the game. That's the way that game was coached today. So I'm not really sure. But again, we'll get into that when we talk about Arteta. Xhaka's partner today, Jorginho.
Jorginho, 5. I mean, well, I'll give him a 6 to be honest with you, because at least he seemed like he was out. I mean, he looked the part, you know. Yeah, Jorginho. I 6 is probably not right now. I mean, to be honest with you, again, that was kind of a surprise sub. If I was thinking, all right, if he's gonna make I mean, I even said it in the chat. I'm like, oh, all right, you know, some Partey and Jorginho. Give me that and let Jorginho be a little bit further up the field, winning balls. You know what I mean? Like he likes to do, and turning play the other way. And he took both of them out.
Yeah. I saw the comment, and then it was just like, well, no, because Jorginho was right behind Xhaka.
I don't know. I was floored by that. I was like, oh, especially with the timing of it, you know. And poor Reece Nelson, you know, like should have had a regular super sub role this season. Finally get some, you know, like a big chunk of minutes. And, you know, he's halfway out the door is what it looks like, you know, and at the very least, you know, he put the cleats to a couple of guys and made things a little, you know, uncomfortable for them, I guess, you know. Anyways, we'll get to him. But I mean, that was just a part of that substitute, the midfield substitution, which again, just like, when has he done anything like that this season? What was that?
It's strange, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like an aberration. It does like, I don't know, man. That was
strange.
Really strange. Really, really strange.
The captain.
Yeah, Odegaard wasn't too bad. I didn't think. Again, I don't know why he was getting. I mean, you're subbing Odegaard. Like, did that make sense to me? Odegaard gets a 6.
It gets a 6 from you as well. Tried to influence the game, but I mean, if guys aren't on. So I mean, but that's
had a shot early.
Yeah, had a shot early. Could have taken one, I think, early as well, and didn't. But I mean, I put my trust in him. If he didn't think he could get it off, he couldn't get it off. What can we say here? But I mean, the only guy for me that really tried to influence the game today was Martin Odegaard. It's another captain's.
Yeah, I don't see what Arteta saw wrong in his performance to say, oh, you know, we're chasing the game. I don't want him in there.
It's almost like you could have taken off Saka before Odegaard.
Right. You could have taken off Saka about 5 times in the last 5 matches.
That's right, and he didn't do it today. So I don't know.
I don't know if this is part of the contract situation. If this has anything to do with it, I'm not sure, but he hasn't managed this part of the season well.
And again, we're talking about the young players that need time to adjust and learn, and he's a young manager as well. So I'm hoping he'll learn from what he's done. I think every year he gets a little bit better, which is good for Arsenal. But I mean, it's just frustrating in the now to watch. But
yeah, we're nowhere near Arteta out. Okay,
no, not even close.
We're in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? Right. As long as he wants to be there, I'll be happy to have him. Like you said, he's a rookie. He's not a rookie, but this is his first management role, and
4 years in.
That's right. By the time he gets to Wenger's age, let's when we were in our prime, I mean, he's gonna be the best manager in the world. So we'll take our lumps along the way. Still Team Arteta over here. So
yeah, it's 100% true. And when Alex Ferguson took over United, his first season, they wanted to crucify the guy in his first season at United, and now he has a stand named after him at Trafford. So got to give him time. But again, he's still not exempt from criticism, and we will criticize when we get to him. We just mentioned this player, Bukayo Saka.
I mean, he did have one crack on net, and he was getting crosses in from the wing, playing off of his right foot. It's just there was no end product today. I don't think Saka was the problem. I'm giving Saka a 6 today. Actually, he kind of looked a little more lively than he has in past weeks, to be honest with you, most recent weeks. So I feel like this was, and then switching to the left side after Martinelli, a little bit after Martinelli and had gotten injured. So it was, and I mean, he seemed to be there for a lot of the counters as well, and cut inside a lot, and created. I mean, I don't think it was certainly not his worst performance in these past few weeks. So I'll give Saka a 6.
6. I gave him a 5. Couple of dangerous moments in a full 90 minutes. A couple of dangerous moments. I mean, he should have been ripping and robbing the whole first half, but wasn't. Again, we talked about. Maybe there's fatigue involved. All the games that he's had to play this year. It's not like he's at 28.
Forget about this year. There's an accumulation of him having carried the club on his back. Okay, let's not mince words here. Okay, that's right. So same thing with the Gabriel, etc.
It's not just the club; it's the national team as well, right? So right. I mean, he's not a Phil Foden or a Grealish like we mentioned that comes in and plays 20 minutes. He plays the full 90 at the highest level. So, and everybody, you're 21 years old. You should have the most energy. You should be able to run this, run that. And now he has to do that for the national team. Now he has to do that at Arsenal, and it's caught up to him.
Yep.
100% it's caught up to him. So, I mean, I'm giving him a 5 today, because I mean, everyone's getting a blinking 5 from me today, but I mean, next year at the beginning of the season, you'll see a different player as well. There's no World Cup next year, so that will be different for us, but we'll see what kind of rest he's able to get in the next. I don't think he starts the next 2 games, but we'll see. This guy didn't play that long today, injured off from a tackle from Caicedo. Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play long enough for us to rate the performance.
Pretty much. I gave him a 5, not for anything he did or didn't do, just because he didn't play long enough.
You got to give him a 4. Sure. No.
So,
and he was in a soup with everybody else. So
that's right. And the last starter that we'll talk about, Gabriel Jesus.
Not it, bro. Not it.
Today. Not today.
No, not it. And we need to be shopping for a striker in summer. I believe he needs proper competition. We like any cross that comes into the box in the air. We 100% are not getting to it. Essentially,
this is the thing that I don't understand, and it happened last week, and it happened again today. You got guys like Botman and Shar, and there's another guy that plays for Newcastle, big guy at the back, and we're just serving high balls in, and we're never going to win them. Like, we would barely win them when Giroud was on our team, and we don't have anyone near that height or strength or imposing physical presence, and we're just crossing balls in, playing high balls in. And today, again, Lewis Dunk is eating that for breakfast, though.
Yep.
Eating those.
Yep.
It's not a problem. You got to play with your feet around these big guys because they're not as agile, obviously. But I don't know, man. We just I don't know why we switched our tactics to crossing balls and playing high balls in. Like, we don't win them.
Nope. We don't. Unfortunate. We never get anything going off of like, when we kick it long, things going to Jesus. Yeah, maybe he can hold it up a little bit, but we never get that, that head on, that,
these guys are 5'8".
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and even Balogun, like Balogun's 5'10". I'm talking about 5'10", 5'9", 5'8". Between he and Ketia, Balogun and Ketia and Jesus. Not make it. All right.
Not for that tactic. If you want to play like Barcelona, tiki-taka around the area, no problem. But if you're trying to serve balls in and have the big striker hold it for the midfielders, we don't have that guy. We don't.
Right. And I mean, like, which top team doesn't have that kind of an option?
That's right. And that's why I want Vlahovic, which you don't want because he refused us.
I want Osimhen.
No, Osimhen's going to be 150. Again, it's not our money. Who cares? I get it.
He's worth Declan Rice money. He's worth Declan Rice money.
Okay. I don't know. 150 is a lot, but okay. All right, no problem. We'll move to the bench.
Yep.
Trossard came in for Martinelli, who didn't really, like you said, didn't play very, very much, but Trossard came in for him.
I'm going to be kind to Trossard. I'm going to be kind to Trossard here.
It can't be higher than a 5. It cannot be higher than a 5.
I don't blame him for that giveaway. That Ramsdale pass wasn't good.
I'm not just talking about the giveaway, though.
No, I mean, well, who did more? Who did more? 2 shots on, one shot on net, hit the bar. I think 2 shots on net, hit the bar. Like, I mean, and especially, like I said, after the disappointment, I'm sure, of not being selected for this game,
Yeah.
he came out there and he did the work, and he was doing defensive work. He's nicking balls. He's doing every little thing. He's coming deep when he has to come deep. I don't know. I don't know what more he could have done. So that's my man of the match today.
So what are you giving him?
A high 6.
High 6?
We'll distinguish him. A 7. I'll give him a 7 because he came on not sulking, even had a laugh with the manager before he came on. And like I said, hit the bar. If anybody came close to making the difference, it's him. You know what I mean? And he should have been selected in so many in essentially every game since March. March Player of the Month can't get into the team except but once in April.
7's high, man. 7's. Oh, I agree with you. The way he was playing, it was like it's a travesty that he's not starting.
Was it April Player of the Month? Whatever it was, right?
Whatever it was. Yeah, I get it, and it's like I said, it was strange that he wasn't getting time on the field when he was probably the best player on Arsenal, creating everything. What was it? 5 assists in a row in the games or something like that. Whatever it was. I mean, I don't understand why he wasn't getting more time. And again, talk about that when we talk about Arteta.
And it's like there were enough guys who were not lighting it up, and enough opportunities through injuries, missed games, etc., to get him in there, to fit him in there, and he didn't. He should
have started before Saka. Maybe the last couple of games as well, but
Yeah, he was frustrated with some of the situations that he was dealing with at Brighton. He didn't realize probably that he was going to be, feel this level of frustration. But it's on another level because you're in a title race and you're watching it all slip away, and you want to, and you have the ability to do something about it. Yeah. When he came on, when he came on, he still made the difference. But he could have had that much more influence, over 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes.
Right. That's right. Emile Smith Rowe. He was about as anonymous as Alexis McAllister was today. Yep. So and he played 90. Yeah. I was shocked. I heard his name and I was like, oh my God, that guy's on the field.
Yeah, right before you actually said it, I was like, where is this guy? I'm like, is he on the bench? Yeah. I'm like, are they doing this without him? And I mean, maybe he's, I don't watch Brighton closely enough to really be like, maybe he's, that kind of silent operator that keeps things ticking. It didn't look like anyone on Brighton had a bad game to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it didn't look like anybody had a bad game. So but he was invisible to me. I did not notice him out there.
Yeah, I mean, are we talking about Emile Smith Rowe or McAllister?
No, McAllister. Smith Rowe has been invisible all season. No fault of his own. Obviously, he's been injured. But I don't think that we've done a good job of like bringing him back with any. And again, nobody's getting any consistency. We've been subbing late in games. All of a sudden, Arteta switches it up, and we're doing subs in 50 odd minutes, 60th minute, whatever. I mean, it was all over the place today. All over the place. But I don't know, man. Like, Smith Rowe was invisible. I didn't see anything.
Well, I'm not giving him a rating.
Yeah.
I didn't give him a rating. Not a 0, not a 1. I'm not giving him a rating at all.
Yeah, NA. Yeah, it's a dash.
NA, that's right. That's right. Let's fly through the next 3 so we can spend some time on Arteta. Thomas Partey.
Well, again, you're bringing him on, but you're giving him nothing familiar around him. You know what I mean? Like, you're bringing him on, and you're like, all right, we're gonna go single holder, and I guess Odegaard's gonna kind of slide and play a little bit deeper. Like,
and we don't play like we've never played like that.
This is what I'm saying, and I mean, maybe it's all because Zinchenko's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the whole tactic can't just die when one player is hurt.
Right.
You gotta figure it out.
You need to be able to play conventional or in another way somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, Partey, I mean, that's a 5.
Give him a 5 as well. Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I mean, you put the cleats on some guys, it's a 5, man. What's the sense? What's the sense? What's the sense in the ratings at this point?
I gave him a 5 as well. And the last guy, Reece Nelson, came on and had some, some moments. Maybe he had one good shot.
Yes,
looked like he was trying to be the live wire. He was running at guys, but again, the game was probably well gone by that time.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he's obviously done the bits from that wing, but when he was on loan, he's more of a right winger, and you didn't really get too many looks over there. I'd like to have seen some switching when he came on. Like we had been doing previous to that, but there was none of that really. But Reece was up there with one of the best, as one of the better players in the time that he had. But like I said, you can almost see he's kind of looking out the front, looking at the front door a little bit, because he's deserved better. He's deserved better this season with the performances that he's put in, and he hasn't gotten it. And I won't be surprised when he walks out the door for free. Unfortunately.
Give 5 or 6 or 10. What do you give? 5.
Yeah, all that said, 5.
5. Lots of 10s, and it's not 10 out of 10, and that's 10 out of 20. Lots of 10s on this screen, but on this player rating list. Honorable mention goes out to Kieran Tierney, who was 11. But we have 2 guys tied with 12. So I'm going to ask you, who do we give the man of the match to between Martin Odegaard and Trossard?
Oh, it's got to be Trossard, I'd say.
Okay. So the man of the match, Clock Ender's man of the match between Brighton and Arsenal is Leandro Trossard. So
Yeah.
let's go.
The game was gone by the third goal, anyways.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So let's count. It was gone after the second goal. Their fans are walking out at 2-0.
That's right.
Right. So while the game was competitive, our best player, the one who was, I think, doing the most and came the closest to making the difference, was him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the sideline now and talk about our manager, Mikel Arteta. For me, a 3 rating. Weird substitute. We've been talking about it all show. Weird substitutions. No ambition to change what we're doing. When I see something and it's not working, do we have a plan B? Didn't look like we have a plan B. Strange personnel.
Rash subs is what it seemed like.
You're chasing you're in a title race. You're in it. You were leading it. Now you're not, but you're still in it. And we should be playing with a desperation that it didn't look like we were. And that comes from the substitutions and the tactics that the manager put in.
Yeah. I mean, again, Xhaka and Jorginho must feel a little hard done by with such aggressive subs. Maybe one of them, for a party, but I thought that it was rash. It was strange, and the timing of it, and players respond to consistency. And
if you're in a position where you're chasing a goal, your striker shouldn't come off.
No, Nketiah can come on, but leave Jesus on.
Of course.
That makes no sense to me. And your captain, your creative captain, your creative driving force shouldn't come off either.
Of course not. You take off a defensive midfield, a holding midfielder, no problem. Take off your left back, no problem. And put 2 attackers on.
Right.
You can't be giving me a striker for a striker when you're chasing a goal.
No.
The way that they were playing today too, no chance. You have to put there's no desperation. There was no fight. There was no. I don't know if he outthought himself or what, but I mean, for me, I'm not a professional manager or any by any means, but I just think that's the wrong choice, wrong moves.
Yeah, and tactically, like I said, he adopted the one little Pep thing. We're going long now. It didn't.
It's easy. It's easy for Pep to go long. He's got the Viking up top.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got speedsters on the wings to catch those balls. I mean, we don't play like this. We don't play like this, and I don't know why you switch it up in must-win games. The last 3 games of the season, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
Ben White getting victimized over there. We couldn't stop. We couldn't. There were no adjustments. We couldn't stop what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like he got walked around that park by De Zerbi today. That is 100% sure.
That's exactly right.
And he was talking that smack on the way in. After, like I said, after their last game, he said, "You're going to see the real Brighton at Arsenal."
So maybe Everton didn't do us any favor. Well, they didn't do us any favors today, and they didn't do us any favors last week, smacking them 5-1, I guess, to kind of wake them up a little bit. But yes, league's done. It was a great season. There's 2 games left. I mean, there's 2 podcasts left, but I mean, what are we really fighting for right now? We've solidified second. We have Champions League spots. No one's going to catch us in second. You can't catch. We're not going to catch first unless something absolutely crazy happens with Man City in the next 2 games. But
play the kids and the guys that are leaving.
That's what you want to have done. Play the kids and the guys that are leaving.
I mean, we're pretty much at white flag territory.
Well, the season's done, so don't even have to bring out the flag. It's done. So you're going to see a lot of Vieira. You're going to see a lot of Reece Nelson, I guess, and Nketiah starting. Maybe Trossard mixed in there as well. Partey probably starting games.
Listen, we need to do everything we can to try and keep Nwaneri. Let's get him a real game instead of just the old, toss him in there and give him his debut. And I understand when we did it, it was to put a value on him in case we lose him. You know what I'm saying? When we go to a court of arbitration or whatever it is to get some kind of a fee compensation, whatever. Okay, the youngest Premier League debutant. It's a nice thing to be able to say and ups the value. But if we can get him a couple games here before he gets stolen away from somebody, maybe we got a chance of keeping him. So,
yeah, maybe you bring up some of the kids from the academy and give them some run out in a real EPL game,
right? A Lewis Skelly, something like that. One of those kids. Yeah,
it's tough to be a youth player in the academy, and then when we need a new winger, we need a new forward, we start talking about Vlahovic and Osimhen, this guy and that guy, and these guys should be getting a look the same way Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Kedia, Nelson, Balogun, even Joe Willock got an opportunity at our club, and I'm very proud of Arsenal, the way that they've taken players from their academy and turned them into stars. Because you look at teams like City, for example, who's the last player to come out of their academy?
Can't get anybody through. This Lewis kid now. That's it.
That's it, right? Because if they need someone, they just go buy someone.
Yeah.
And he's a ready-made player. He's 25, 26 years old. He's in his peak. He's in his prime. And that's who we're going to go get. So I like that there's an avenue with Arsenal to come through the academy, but I mean, eventually Arteta's going to have to say, you know what, maybe we have to give some of these kids an actual real chance to see what they can do here. Maybe we don't have to buy. So.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a shame, for instance, if we don't see Balogun really get a chance.
I think he's gone though.
It looks like the direction. Yeah, it looks like the direction. And I mean, all the kids, who kind of came up together in that generation, the Willocks, the Maitland-Nileses, the Reece Nelsons, now Balogun. I mean, essentially everyone is leaving the club or on their way out. That's not the message that you want to send or that you want to kind of ripple down or trickle down into the academy.
There's no reason to have a good academy if that's what you're going to do.
That's right. And, we lost Hutchinson this past year, and Nwaneri would be another, huge blow to that. But you got to look at these kids and be like, you can feel justified in doing that also.
It depends what you get. It depends what you get instead of them.
No, I mean, from their standpoint, if you're the parent or an advisor, you know what I mean? Like, you tell them go. You games. You got to go.
I think, like you said, Balogun and Nelson might be. I think they're 1 foot out the door. I think Patino 1 foot out the door as well.
Thank you.
That might be the one that I would look back and say that's the wrong move to let that kid go. If you're looking at paying a Declan Rice, 80 million for a Declan Rice, I think in 3 years you're going to see that kid is just as good as him, and you had him for nothing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're inserting buyback clauses in all these deals. I hope so. But like for instance, Yunus Musa, you know what I mean? Like, what are we about to do? Buy him back? Benacer, what are we about to do? Buy him back for 50, 60, whatever the case is. Like, these kids should have gotten a look. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's not all on Arteta. It didn't all happen under his watch, but
no, for sure, no.
But this is the recent story of Hale End. So as much as we praise Hale End for the Smith-Rowes and the Sakas coming through, we also got to think about actually how they came through too, and it wasn't this manager who put them through the squad. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, it's good to look at the teams that are getting relegated, because maybe we can do some shopping with them. There's one or two good players that you might be able to scoop from those teams, and I'm sure all smart technical directors, all the smart ADUs of their teams are looking at players like Onana, or if Everton gets relegated, you're looking at Onana, you're looking at Calvert-Lewin, Lewin. What's it? Calvert-Lewin? Lewin? Yeah. You're looking at players like that. You're looking at players on Southampton, and You're looking at maybe Ward Prowse or something, maybe being able to scoop him for 35, 40 million from a team that's going down. So
I think Ward Prowse any day.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, we should be looking at teams like that all around the world that are getting relegated. I know we talked about Musa there. Valencia looks like they're going to get relegated as well. So, I mean, Wolves. I mean, we're still.
We already know our boy Ruben. I mean, it looks like he's still promised to Barcelona, although apparently Xavi doesn't want him. I don't know.
Well, Barcelona's a different. They're a mess too. They're the Chelsea of Spain. They got a lot of players, and they pick up all these players for free, and they're good players. You got Kessie in the midfield, Pedri, Gavi, all those guys in the midfield. De Jong's still there, but I mean, nobody wants to leave, but Xavi doesn't want to play them. So, and then the next year they're going to bring in Ruben Neves, and they're going to bring in this guy. There's going to be 800 people in the midfield, and none of them. He doesn't want any of them. So it's strange.
Yeah, he's trying to clone himself and put himself back in the midfield.
I bet he wishes he could. Yeah. Iniesta might still be able to play in that league, but anyways, yeah. So guys, that's the player ratings and the game recap for Brighton versus Arsenal. 3-0 loss at the Emirates at home. Last game, one of the last games of the season.
We gotta talk ref. By the way, we should do ref. Ref gets a 1.
1? You giving him a 1?
Accumulation of foul. Yeah, I mean, or a 0. Yeah, exactly. Accumulation of fouls. Just the whole referee outfit missing the stamp on the heel for the first goal, or not judging that to have been a flaggable offense. To again, I just don't understand why VAR is there if that doesn't register.
Referee gets a 0 for me. There was a couple of even against Martinelli, clocked the kid. That's a yellow card.
Immediate yellow.
That's an immediate yellow. And even Caicedo coming in against him, that's a yellow. There was a lot of things going on in the game that were just either missed or I don't know how. And again, I've said this a million times. I don't know how you have the opportunity to go back in time and fix your mistake and make the same mistake again. I don't get it. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. And this is what the VAR is. You have the opportunity to go back and fix a mistake, and you either keep the same mistake or you pretend like it never happened. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah, and I mean, and we're talking about Barcelona earlier, and it's a little daft because Barcelona's a mess, but they're winning the league.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I saw something the other day that Real Madrid only train to play in the Champions League. They don't train to play in La Liga. They just train to play in the Champions League because they're always in the finals. They're either winning it or they're close to winning it. So, I mean, I don't understand how you can be in the Champions League finals, semifinals every single year and you can't beat that Barcelona. But whatever, you're losing to Getafe and teams like that.
Yeah, strange.
It's very strange. So I don't even know who we play. I think we have not Southampton, Nottingham Forest we have left, and Wolves. I think it's Wolves is the last game of the season. That's going to be at the Emirates, I think. So we'll definitely have our player ratings for that. Hopefully we'll have some new names on our list to rate. I mean, it's kind of a sad day. Season's not over. It's not all doom and gloom. Second place, 3 points away from what people have deemed the best team in the EPL for the last 3 seasons. Champions League spot. I mean,
the haters are going to say this is our best episode yet. By the way, they're eating this.
I believe it. Of course they are.
They're eating these long faces up.
That's fine, but you gotta look at it this way. I know none of them are Man City fans because there's no such thing as a Man City fan outside of Manchester. So where's your club right now?
That's right.
And that should end, and we'll end the show on that.
Scoreboard. Mm-hmm.
Scoreboard. That's right. You got to look up to see us. Take care. We'll catch you next week, guys.